seated. Similar.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're here in case 26 CR 593, State of Ohio versus Isaiah McCoy. Present in court is the defendant, who's accompanied by his attorney, Mr. William Watson. We were previously here on June 3rd, 2026. At that time, the defendant withdrew his previously entered pleas of not guilty and entered a plea of guilty to count 1, having weapons while under disability, a felony of the 3rd degree, along with a forfeiture specification. This matter was deferred for sentencing and referred to the Lake County Adult Probation Department for a pre-sentence investigation and report. That report has been prepared. The state has had an opportunity to review that report and is ready to proceed with sentencing. The state would move to dismiss the remaining counts of the indictment, and there are 81 days of jail time credit. Thank you.
Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. I'll be brief. I mean, there's little to say with Mr. McCoy's history. I know it's bad. Mr. McCoy is a troubled young man, Your Honor. I believe he just turned 21, and he's had a rough life, and he's been homeless. He was currently homeless during the pendency of this case. There were preliminary hearings set out of Willoughby Municipal Court. He was in contact with me off and on. I mean, his phone, I believe, was turned off one time, again because he was homeless. But he did make attempts to address this, and I believe he turned himself in on this case. There was a warrant outstanding for him. I believe he turned himself in. He wanted to address this issue. I just spoke with him. He wants to address the pending issue downtown Cleveland. Your Honor, he wants to turn his life around. He's been sitting here for over 80 days. He's told me numerous times that he's sick of where his life has ended up, and he would like a change. I know, Your Honor, based on his history, that it's a long shot to ask for probation, but I do think a place like NeoCap would actually benefit Mr. McCoy. I think that type of a program was made specifically for people like my client here. I don't know if the court will consider that at all. Mr. McCoy would welcome an opportunity from this court if it were to consider that. In the alternative, Your Honor, I would simply ask the court to consider his age, the fact that he's been homeless, before imposing sentence. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, what do you have to say?
Stand up.
I have no excuse good enough for the actions which have put me before you here today. During these past few months, I've had nothing but time and constant reminders from my family to think back on those actions and be the loss of words for my ignorance. Of course, I'm remorseful, not only for my actions, but for letting down the people who were and still are rooting for me. One of the people being my own son, who asked when I'm coming home every time I call. I'm ashamed. I worked hard, found a great job, as well as amazing people who cared for me, offering help and advice on how to live a happy life, a better life. If you were to ask me what I think my sentence should be today, I'd say whichever way I could get the best help and guidance. I want better for myself, and I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to complete a probation, attend AA meetings regularly, and cease all drug and alcohol consumption completely. Though if you feel that prison is the answer today, I will not give up at that. I will enroll in programs fitting to me, obtain my general education, and attend classes or groups regarding abstinence. I have not made a mistake too great to affect the rest of my life negatively. I can overcome the setbacks, and I will. With that being said, Your Honor, I apologize and thank you for being heard.
You pled to a robbery in Cuyahoga County, November of 24. This says he was admitted to prison. How's that possible if the disposition was in juvenile?
Your Honor, he did get admitted to prison and then was returned to Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court after approximately a month.
How was that possible?
How long were you there?
Don't know, but he was admitted to
You were in
Lorraine
Lorraine
Correctional.
for 2 days, and they sent you back where, to county jail?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be on the transport list.
Your Honor, my client just said he was transported from Cuyahoga County Jail to Lorraine Correctional Facility. He was processed there. He was there for 2 days. According to my client, he was not supposed to be transported there, and after 48 hours or so, they transported him back to the Cuyahoga County Jail.
All right. So then you went over to juvenile court. You were released, I don't know when. When were you released from juvenile court?
December 18th.
All right. And what did they have you do over at juvenile court?
Nothing.
Nothing. Why not?
I'm not sure. They just released me.
Where did you go when you were released?
I went to stay with my mother in
Where?
East Cleveland.
And how long did you stay there?
I stayed with my mother about 5, and then we ended up going hotels.
And how long did that go on?
Until I turned myself in on this case.
You list you say you were employed with 1-800-GOT-JUNK from May of 25 through March of 26 when you got arrested. How'd you get that job?
My sister's boyfriend got the job there. He moved up from South Carolina, got the job, and he was good friends with the general manager at the time. So it got me a good position.
What did you do?
I'd go to people's houses, like book an appointment, I'd go to their house, I'd quote them the job, and then if they want to do it, then I'd carry it out.
So you would follow up on a lead they got? Somebody interested in the service? Or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got this charge in this weapons charge in Cuyahoga. You're hard to keep track of here, you know that?
Yeah.
In December of 25. What's going on with that case?
I was told by my public defender downtown that the case was supposed to be thrown out because it's called a necessity, but for some reason they're still trying to get me on it, get me down there.
You've had a pretty, what are you, 21?
Yes, sir.
You've been in more trouble up to this point than most people are in their life. Why is that?
I don't have any set answer for that. I can't really blame anybody but myself. I get into a lot of things that I shouldn't. Even when I'm doing right, I still find myself doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I don't know.
Who were you? What were you doing this night that this thing happened?
I was on a job and I found some silver and gold, so I came out here to a place that I've dealt with before.
What do you mean you found it?
In a clean out in a basement. It was like some 14 karat gold necklaces and silver bullion. So I came out here to a silver shop. Well, I also found some forks, so I went to an antique place in Wycliffe, I believe. And
What do you mean you were cleaning out? What were you cleaning out?
it was a basement to an old house that they were renovating.
Was that your stuff to take?
It was trash. It had been thrown away regardless. I mean, there was nobody lived in the home.
Okay, so you found this stuff. Who were you with that night?
So I took two of the guys that work with me. They weren't there when I found it, but I took them with me out here, or to Wycliffe rather. And then we were on the way back when I got pulled over.
Okay. Why did you come out here to do it?
Because I've dealt with the place, the gold spot I've dealt with before, the pawn shop rather. But I looked up Wycliffe's antique spot to sell the silverware.
Yeah, how much you get for all that stuff?
The silverware I didn't end up getting anything for. It wasn't worth.
What about the other stuff?
I ended up getting like $350.
Okay, so where'd you go from there?
We stopped at the liquor store and got a bottle of tequila, and I was driving back to Cleveland.
Going 102 miles an hour?
Yeah,
What time of night was this?
it was midday actually.
Midday? Why were you going 102 miles an hour? Were you begging to get stopped?
I don't know.
I mean, that was pretty stupid.
Yeah,
Of all the stupid things you've done, why don't you just put a target out there? Just paint your car lime green and say, stop me, I'm going 102. Were you drunk at that point?
yes.
Okay, there's another good idea. So how is it possible, how is it remotely possible that you're going to straighten your ass out?
I'd ask for some type of program or
What kind of program? What do you need a program for?
something to help me stay straight. I mean, when I was just released out there, I just fell back into everything. I feel if I'm drug tested regularly and stuff's held over my head when I'm out, like a slow re-entry.
You said at the start, when you read whatever you wrote, you were talking about disappointing, letting people down. Letting what people down? Who?
I have a best friend of mine. Well,
Who?
his name's Defendant. He actually owns his own clean out company, and I started working for him when I was 15. I met him at the DMV, and he's been in my corner ever since then.
How do I know he's not one of you guys? Because you've been hanging around people. Apparently, you've been hanging around people that led you to a shitload of charges through your young life. So how do I know this guy's not one of those people?
Well, a lot of the guys that have hung around were younger, my age, doing those type of things. He's not. He's he's double my age, and like I said, he owns his own business. So the only thing he does all day is clean outs or pass out cards.
Okay, who else?
Well, my family, my
Who?
mother. My mother, even though she has problems of her own,
What kind of problem she had?
she's an alcoholic, and she has bad problems when she drinks. But she's always been in my corner, no matter how messed up she was. My sister also.
What does she do?
My sister,
Yeah.
she just picked up drinking, but she was never really into drugs or alcohol. But
How old is she?
She's 20.
She just picked up drinking.
Yeah.
What did she see what you're going through and figure that's a good idea?
I don't know. My mother should be enough.
Where does she live? With your mother?
My mother, actually, they just got into it, and she put my mother out. So my mother had another episode, but my sister has her own apartment on the west side of Cleveland.
Okay. Who else?
Well, my child and his mother, though I'm not with her, I still keep in contact with her a lot.
What's her name?
Her name's Ashanti.
Where does she live?
She lives in East Cleveland.
And your son lives with her?
My son stays with my mother. Well, not my mother
Jesus,
now.
that's not a good idea, is it?
No, he stays with my sister, but my mother was taking care of him when she
How
was
old is he?
4.
How the hell is he going to get any proper care?
Me, I mean,
Jesus.
when I
Who was caring for you when you were 4 years old?
my mother was.
Okay. Is this another junior Isaiah we got coming up, or what?
I'm trying. I would try so hard to stop that.
Who else in this circle of people you were talking about?
I just started talking to my uncle again. He disassociated himself from the family for a couple years, but growing up, he was more of a father figure to me than his brother was. So
Where's your father these days?
my father's bounced all around. He's settled down with a woman in Nashville. He got a house, but he doesn't care about any of his other kids other than the 2 that he has.
Where's
with
his
her.
brother live?
He lives in Menor on the Lake. He just bought a house in Menor on the Lake.
What does he do?
He's a Mason.
And who else?
That's really about it.
Okay. So what you talk about programs? What programs? What programs do you need to get your shit together?
Definitely like alcohol, like a probation to keep, to keep me sober, to have something over my head, to not.
What happens when there's nothing over your head?
It's free. I don't have anything to hold me back from doing it.
That's right. Unless we put you on lifetime probation. So when you were working at this place in Bedford, how much were you working?
I worked in the summertime, 12, 13-hour days, like probably get 85% of the time, but it slows down in the cold season. But even then, I'm always there. I'm one of the guys, and no matter what's going on, I'm there. Rather, if I'm in the yard, because we have a little dump yard on the side, if I'm just there running trucks to the dump or out on routes doing jobs.
How can you drive if you don't have a license?
I really wasn't supposed to be driving, but I wasn't toward the first GM. He didn't care, so I was, but he ended up leaving, and some higher ups came in and cracked down.
Why don't you have a license?
Actually, when I got out, I went to a juvenile intervention driving course that I was sentenced to from Geauga. I completed that. I obtained my temporary permit, but I was driving in Barberton with a person. He told me he had his license, but I got pulled over and he didn't. Turned out he didn't have his license, and I had a temporary permit. So they took my truck and they put another indefinite suspension on my license.
What exactly is it that you want to do with your life?
Career-wise, I'm not too sure. A lot of things I feel I'm good at. I just want to get away from this stuff.
What's that mark under your right eye?
From the robbery that I was convicted of was actually started off as a murder. They charged me with the murder of my best friend because we were buying a gun when we got robbed, and they shot and killed him. And then I ran to Georgia, and I ended up coming back up here to be with my son and just face the music. And then a year later, it resulted in a robbery. And I got this mark 3 days after he died. I was 17 and drunk.
Okay. Why did you get it?
Because it just symbolizes a loss. So it can either mean you killed somebody or you lost somebody.
So you think that's a great idea going forward?
The tattoo?
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I was 17 and drunk.
Okay. What are you going to do about it?
And I've been reading into laser removals, but that come sometime down the line.
You list this address in Willowick. Whose house is that?
Oh, that would be another person that's rooting for me. My Aunt Holly, it's my father's adopted sister. I stayed with her when me and my mother did get into it at the hotel one time, and I left. My Aunt Holly always wants me to stay with her, but her husband's like he just doesn't really care for her side of the family.
Can you blame him at this point with everything you've been telling me?
I mean, he has his own problems with
All right. Well, everybody's got problems. but
criminals.
You guys on the your side of the family are lighting it up so far.
Yeah.
So at some point, whether it's now or 3 years from now, you're going to be out. Where are you going to go?
I don't know. Hopefully my mother gets her stuff straightened out, so I could have somewhere to go when I get out. At least.
What's the story with your son's mother?
She has a new boyfriend, and she's having a kid with him, and she's never really been like, she never had him really. My whole year in Cuyahoga, my son was with my mother and my sister.
Okay. So she's irresponsible, it sounds like.
Not completely, but yeah, she's only a mother on the holidays.
She got more interest in doing other things than taking care of her 4-year-old, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I mean by irresponsible.
Yeah.
Okay. And so far, in your young life, you've been irresponsible too.
Yes.
You have a flash of responsibility by getting a job and doing the job. Other than that, you've been pretty irresponsible. And marred with making stupid decisions, probably because of drugs and alcohol and your environment. So what kind of drugs you do?
None specifically. I've done a lot of them, but
What have you done?
I've done methamphetamines, crack cocaine, marijuana, alcohol, obviously, opiates, smoke K2. That's really it.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay, Ms. Himmeline.
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court's aware, the defendant has a lengthy and serious criminal history. He has nearly half a dozen juvenile adjudications, many of which involve serious offenses involving weapons and offenses of violence, and that behavior has continued into the defendant's adulthood. He continues to carry weapons and commit acts of violence. This particular offense did put the community at risk. He was driving 102 miles per hour when he was pulled over, admittedly intoxicated and without a driver's license. And he did not take responsibility for this firearm when the police recovered it. He denied that it was his book bag. He denied it was his firearm.
Why did you do that?
Because the person, one of my coworkers, was gonna take up for it, but the cops, I guess, scared him into not doing it.
What do you mean take up for it?
Because he was allowed to carry, so he was gonna take out for say the gun was his, but I feel like the cops knew it was mine. Well, they knew it was mine because my wallet was in the book bag.
Right. So whose was it?
It was mine.
Okay, so why'd you try to bullshit him?
Because he was gonna take up for it. So
All right.
when they were saying that it was mine, I thought they were just trying to get me on it and didn't know.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Himmeline.
So, yes, Your Honor, he did not take responsibility for the firearm, did not submit to DNA without a search warrant. So for all of those reasons, the state is asking that the court impose a prison sentence in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. How far did you go through school?
Ninth grade.
Where'd you go?
I think I finished my ninth grade credits in a place called George Junior Republic in PA.
How'd you get there?
Ashtabula. I was in Ashtabula custody, county's custody, and when my mother had lost rights to us, I was put in a group home, but I ran from there, so they sent me to lockdown residential.
Where'd you go before that?
Carrington on the east side of Cleveland on Noble Road. It's like a residential home.
All right. How well are your reading skills?
Great.
Huh?
Great.
How'd you learn to read if you only went to school kind of half-assed through ninth grade?
Well, they teach you how to read in like third grade.
Well, I know, but there's a lot of third graders running around that don't know how to read. There's a lot of fifth graders running around that don't know how to read. Just because they move you through school doesn't mean you're learning anything.
I've had a lot of time to read books.
What kind of books you read?
All types.
What kind? Give me an idea.
Like James Patterson, John Sanford, Stephen King.
Stephen King's a weirdo. That's just a matter of personal taste, but whatever. You ever read any history books?
Not really, that I could think of.
All right. I've reviewed the pre-sentence report. And the letter you had sent me back in May. Listen to you, listen to counsel. I've considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 180 days in jail with credit for 81. The last 30 days you're going to enter into and complete the jail treatment program. You're going to follow all recommendations. Then you're going to go to the program at NeoCap, complete that program and follow those recommendations. When you finish that, you're going to go to a sober living facility for a minimum of 6 months. You're going to get a mental health evaluation. You're going to follow all those recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're to go to only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any prescription medication. You're to take any medication you are prescribed only as prescribed. You're going to sign releases so probation can get your records. You're going to get your GED. Obtain and maintain full employment. You get a valid driver's license. Going to attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and get a sponsor, and you're going to pay the costs and supervision fees. Anything else, Mr. Tompkins?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Oh, you know what, probably clear the warrant in Barberton.
What's the warrant for?
You have a warrant, Barberton. You know what it's for?
Do you know, Dave?
Is it a
Just
traffic
failing
ticket?
to appear.
Maybe, yeah, that's when they took my truck when I was driving with my temporary permit.
All right, so clear all warrants. You understand the terms?
So I have 3 more months in the detention center,
Right.
and then I go to NeoCat,
Right?
and then
So, I'll talk to you about it.
Then a sober living facility.
okay.
And a mental health evaluation. Any other questions?
No.
All right, well, listen, if you violate, the state will file a motion to terminate. If I find you violated, then you'll go to prison for 36 months.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I think everybody thinks I'm wrong. But we'll find out, because if you want the help's available. But whether you take advantage of it is completely up to you. And then you got to clear up the Cuyahoga case too.
Will I be able to do that while I'm in the detention center?
And they could try to borrow you.
I'll be able to write a motion of availability.
I think I don't think that applies here. You would know better than me, Bill, but maybe you can talk to his PD down there to see if they want to borrow him. But I want him back here for that JTP, so I don't want him to disappear in the vast hole that is Cuyahoga County sometimes.
Understood, Your Honor. I think statutorily the notice of availability may not apply, but I can reach out to his public defender in Cuyahoga County, Your Honor.
Is it somebody in the public defender's office or just appointed counsel? Do you know?
I believe it's a public defender.
Do you know his name?
No.
I can look it up
All
on
right.
the docket, Your Honor.
The remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Ms. Himmelite?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Watson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.
You got the break of a lifetime. You may not think about it, but you did. See what